Hi friends, this is Lavakumar. Welcome to my fourth online tutorial regarding web development. Today I'm gonna cover what is JavaScript and how we can validate the form which I shown you in the second tutorial. If you didn't watch my second tutorial, so please go and watch that one. I am sure you enjoy this tutorial and getting some knowledge about how the actual validations happened when we fill forms in websites. So let's do. This form I actually created in a second tutorial. I using this form for this tutorial. In this tutorial, I giving the form name. I giving name to the form as form1. For each field, you require you given a name for which you use it for validations. Now we discussed about JavaScript. So, what is JavaScript? JavaScript is a programming language of HTML and the web. It is easy to learn. Mainly, JavaScript is used for client-side validations and performing some actions on events. There are many of the events for validating. For validating purpose, we require only on-click event. Is enough. We discuss and all the JavaScript events in a further chapters or any other tutorials. And JavaScript is similar to the normal programming language, but in normal programming language we have many data types like int, float, char, string, all kind of stuff. But in JavaScript we have only one data type called as var. This is the only data type. If you assign some var equals to 5, then it acts as int. If you assign some var some I equals to 5, then acts as int. If you assign some var s equals to hello, then it converts into string form. If you assign some var some v equals to 3.2, then it converts 3.2. Then it converts as a float value. If you assign var some g equals to, if you in flower brackets, then it indicates as an array. This is very simple to understand what actually happens with only single data type. Okay, next. If you want to know more about variables, operators, and all, I leave a link in description. You can verify it and you can know more about it. The new feature introduced called regular expressions. By using the regular expression, we can simplify the validations very easily. It has a function called test function, which is used for validations. This is the validation code, and this is the actual input. If validation is perfectly correct, then it returns the boolean value as true, otherwise false. And another important thing is I added an extra feature called required attribute in the input tag, which is newly introduced in HTML5. If we place required attribute in the input field, then the HTML5 won't accept null values. I added extra one called as a spam tag. In that I giving star. I highlighted this as a red color, and in bottom I mentioned that all in the red color fields are all compulsory or all mandatory. See, this is the on-click event. When we click on on-click event, it's called the validation function in the JavaScript and executes the total entire code and returns the required values. So another question is how we import the JavaScript into the HTML by using a tag called script tag. In that we have attribute called src. In the src we import the particular JavaScript file, and the another attribute called is type to tell the browser it is a JavaScript tag. So now let's focus on actual JavaScript validations. to get the input field value into the variable, we use some formula, we use some syntax called where some x equals to some variable equals to document dot form name dot name of the input field dot and value. If you give like, this is the actual syntax, if you give like this syntax, then the particular form value are stored into the variable called x. This is the what I done in this validation code. I'm declare a variable name called name and giving the document dot form one is the name of the form and the form name is name and dot value. You can observe clearly, this is the name of the form name, form 1, and the name of the input field is name, and I given the dot value. Whenever I given this, the particular value is stored into the name value. Similarly, I done for all the required input fields. If name equals to empty, or father's name or gender, username, password, comments, if any of the field is empty, then displaying the alert symbol called all fields are compulsory. Alert symbol is nothing but it is a pop-up symbol in browser. You understand while executing. See, this is the actual validations. The syntax for regular expression validation is this one. Let's clearly understand what actually is. It starts with a cap symbol and ends with a dollar symbol. In between that, whatever we actually give, it's going to be validated. In that, in a square brackets, we give a what actually you're supposed to validate. If the fields only contain only alphabets, capital letters and small letters, and including space, you give like this. If your input field also accepts some numbers, also you can give 0 to 9 underscore. If your input field accepts all the fields like address, hash, dollar, percentage, cap, you can give all the required fields in the square brackets. And another important field is whatever you given in the flower brackets, it accepts two values. One is the least size and another is the maximum size. If you validate the particular input, if you have minimum of 3 values and maximum of 30 characters, then you can give like this 3,30. If you want minimum of 6 characters and maximum of 30 characters, then you can give like this. This total code should be stored in any of one variable for future validation. Say similarly for username, I stored as minimum of 3 characters and maximum of 30 characters. For father name also same, minimum of 3 characters, maximum 30 characters. For username, I can accept the user can give both alphabets as well as numbers and also underscore, and minimum characters is 6 characters and maximum of 20 characters. Similarly from password also, both I'm adding extra features to password like alphabets, numbers, special characters, underscore, minimum of 6 characters and maximum of 20 characters. For commenting, for comment section, I accept. I give a validation called alphabets, numbers, underscore, spaces with minimum of 10 characters to maximum of 50 characters. Okay, next one. Find validation code dot text function dot our actual input. If validation is correct, then it gives the true symbol. Then gives the boolean value, returns the true value. If no, then false. To catch all the errors, I take error as an array. the error is the array field to catch the all the errors. Here I giving errors equals to errors.length. Initial errors.length, it returns the 0 value. Here there is no fields. Initial value is 0 length. I stored errors of 0 equals to, if username is wrong, then I given as your name is invalid. Your name, if your name is wrong, then I given as your name is invalid. If father name is wrong, then errors equals to errors.length. Automatically it increments the error.length to 1. Here is 0 and here is 1, and father name is invalid. As similar errors of 1, username is invalid. Errors of 0, 1, 2, errors of 3. Please enter message minimum of 10 to 50 characters. And errors of 4. You must enter a valid password minimum of 6 characters. And finally gender. If gender equals to 0, then you please select the gender. This is error of 5. And finally, if errors.length is greater than 0, I call a function called some display errors. I passing that error array. If else alert successfully validated, I pop up the symbol. I pop up the some alert function called successfully validated. Here this is the display error code. I pass in the error array as a parameter. Here where some variable name message equals to please enter validate data, for where I equals to 0, I less than errors.length until it checks for lost error, and incrementing by 1. I declare another variable called number error equals to I plus 1 to show the error number, index of error, and it displays the message plus /n for new line, and number error, index of the number, and actual error of 0, error of 1, error of 2, and all this error. I storing all this error into the message and alerting, and I pop up all the errors by alert function at a time by using alert of messages. Now let's run in browser and watch and see what actually happened. See, this is the page. I highlighting the star symbol now. For all fields are compulsory. When I click on submit, it displays all fields are compulsory. Okay. See, I told before, newly introduced attribute called required attribute. If you use a required attribute, then the HTML file don't allow null values, don't accept null values. Are given as some Lavakumar mail, email, registration. Are giving 1, some 1. If I click on submit, then display username invalid, please check. Please enter a message of minimum of 10 to 50 characters. You must enter a valid password minimum of 6 characters. So hence you know what actually happening validations now. And another main thing I forgot to tell is, here I give input type equals email now. Our HTML file newly introduced a attribute field called email, which is default email validation. You don't validate email separately. If you give input type equals to email, then browser itself validate the email. See, if I given some L only, we click on submit. All fields are compiled. I didn't mention mail now. We click on submit. It's successfully valid, but he see please include @ in the email address. If you click on @, then it displays missing.com. hence gmail.com, hence it displays as a successfully validated. Sorry, I didn't give a date. It's successfully validated, completed. It posted to the server. In the action equals to some hash, no, if you give any of the server pages, then it successfully transfers the particular server pages. Actually, I validate only the 6 input fields: name, father's name, gender, username, password, comments. I didn't validate email and data. That's why I'm showing before only successfully validated, even though they are not valid. If you want to validate, you can validate the email as well as date to restrict the input fields. For example, for timing and for example, I only discuss some of the input fields for validations. That's it, guys, for today's lesson. In the next video, we will be more focused on CSS and some of the frameworks like Bootstrap. You will be learn Bootstrap. If you learn Bootstrap, then you able to know how to design a responsive and user interactive websites. You don't need to write all the code. Just we can import from the online. Import from that Bootstrap server. If you want this code, then please visit my blog. I leave the link in my description section. My blog link is lavatechzone.blogspot.in. If you like the video, then please don't forget to subscribe for more videos and latest updates. If you have any doubts, then feel free to comment. Thank you.